Shalom. In the last few weeks, we celebrated and commemorated a few events that represent new events in modern Jewish history. On the 27th of Nisan, we commemorated Yom HaShoah, the Holocaust Day. And yesterday we commemorated the Israel Memorial Day. Today we are celebrating Israel Independence Day. And in a couple of weeks, on the 28th of Iyar, we are going to celebrate the Yom Yerushalayim. So I felt that it is proper to talk about these events and from different perspectives, historical and how they came about, and the halakhic implication of those days. I will start with Yom HaShoah. Yom HaShoah, it started in 1951. It wanted to create a day that will encompass all the events of the Holocaust that spanned over a few years, and that resulted in the killing of 6 million of our brothers. So they felt, and the ethos of that day, it was the Yehudi HaLohem, the Jewish warrior. So out of all the events, they chose the uprising of the Warsaw Ghetto. However, it turned out to be that that uprising was in the eve of Passover, and it was felt that because of the upcoming holidays, it won't be proper to celebrate Yom HaShoah on that day. So they pick up another day, and they chose the 27th of Nisan. And I believe it was a brilliant way to choose that day, because only a week later, which happened to be yesterday, they established the Memorial Day for the fallen Israeli soldiers. And also on the 8th day, it will be Yom HaAtzmaut, which we are celebrating today. So the 8th day in Jewish tradition is the day that is beyond nature, beyond what is natural. Like the Milah, we do it on the 8th day. So it is celebrated usually 8 days before the Yom HaAtzmaut. And we do know that the leader of that uprising, his name was Mordechai Anielowitz, and to immemorialize his name, they established kibbutz called Yad Mordechai. And I had the honor to meet one of those leaders of the uprising. His name is Antek Zuckerman. His Hebrew name is Yitzhak. I met him in kibbutz Lohame Getaot, just north of Akko, between Akko and Naharia. It was a significant uprising that took its toll on the German war machine. So now it is commemorated by people remembering their loved ones, and it is commemorated with many events at Yad Vashem and all over the state of Israel. And it is commemorated also with sirens that are blowing at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it is, in fact, one of my patients told me that he saw it on the computer, how the whole country come to a standstill. But he told me also that immediately after they finished the siren and people can move, they started to beep onto each other. I told him this is typical Israeli personality. Yesterday, Yom HaZikaron, it was established on the Dalit of Iyar, which is what is very interesting is that they picked up a date in 1940. So here, listen carefully, it is 8 days before the establishment of the State of Israel, and it was to commemorate massacres done by the Arabs in Hebron from 1936 to 1939. As a result of that, 600 Jews were killed, along with 200 British soldiers and 5,000 Arabs. The Arabs were killed really not by the Jews or by the British, they were killing each other. So here, then in 1951, as I mentioned before, they established the day of Dalit of Iyar as Memorial Day in Israel. And so here it is like prophetic that those who established the day in 1940 picked up a date that is most proper for the Memorial Day, because when they established it in 1951, it is a day before the Independence Day. It will give very, very clear message that without the sacrifices of those who've fallen, we won't have independent Israel as we have today. And the way that it is commemorated and the Independence Day is celebrated is absolutely fantastic, completely unlike the way we commemorate Memorial Day in the United States. In the United States, it is like the beginning of the summer season. People go to the beaches. They make barbecue parties, they get drunk, and probably every year, there will be a few hundred people who reported are killed from drug driving on Memorial Day. It is not a proper way, it's not a dignified way to remember those who have fallen for their country. And I really do believe that it has to be changed. In fact, I wrote a letter to the Wall Street Journal that was never published, expressing my feeling about this issue, because I'm here in this wonderful country for 35 years, and I still can't come into grasp with the way that Memorial Day is celebrated here. In Israel, miyagon lesimcha me'afila leor gadol, that when they celebrate it is with siren, with sad day. In fact, it is national Abel Day, and right after sunset they blow shofar and they start the celebration, and the celebration starts nowadays from Mount Herzl. This is a military cemetery in Jerusalem, and this is another way to show that we do appreciate what all these heroes did to the state. And it is interesting that in Israel now the parasha of this coming Shabbat is Harimot Kedoshim. They talk about the death of the children of Aaron, and it says Bikrobai Ekadesh, that those who have fallen are Krovim, are near to Hashem, they are beloved to Hashem. Today, as mentioned, we are celebrating the Independence Day. Incidentally, it corresponds to the 14th of May in 1948. That's when Ben Gurion declared the independence of Israel. The British mandate was supposed to finish officially on the 15th of May. The 15th of May is Shabbat, and I believe it was done intentionally so to confuse the Jews, not to do anything. However, on Erev Shabbat, in the afternoon, around 4 o'clock, Ben Gurion declared that there will be Jewish state in the land of Israel, that it is called the State of Israel, Medinat Israel. And since then it is celebrated, and we can see how it is one of the Ma'atzamot, one of the great nations on earth now. It's not perfect, it's far from perfect, but it is an example, a historical example that is not matched anywhere in the history by any person. This is it is really rebirth of people that the only thing that they had is the tikva, is hope that one day they will return. Then one day there will be Geula, and it did arrive. And we should not forget that the establishment of the State of Israel did not save only the Jews that they wanted to come from Europe. In fact, it did save Jewry in general all over the world. They say about Rabbi Unterman, who was the chief rabbi of Israel in 1951. He was one time on Yom Kippur in Brazil to conduct services there, and he finished the services Leil Kal Nidre, and he saw many people driving their car to go home. And of course he was shocked that they were all here, and they had Hirure Teshuvah, and then how come they don't celebrate it? And the one who was accompanying him, he said, it is this is the situation here. You have to understand that there is a lot of assimilation, and he told him that in fact my own grandfather was completely assimilated. However, 3 years ago he did teshuvah, and the reason that he did teshuvah and he started to connect again to the Jewish people is that he had hope again from the establishment of the State of Israel, and then that gave that revival, the Jewish revival, got a very, very big boost from after the 6 Days War, when we see the Russian Jewry woke up. They felt proud, they felt validated that yes, we can have state, we can defend ourselves, we can be victorious over many countries around us. And I venture to say that many of the benefit that came from after the 6 Days War are reversible. However, there is one thing that is irreversible, and that is the awakening of the Soviet Jewry. So today it is definitely cause for celebration, and so Hag Atzmaut Sameach. I want to talk about a couple of words about the issue of the services and the halachic perspective of Yom Ha'atzmaut. According to Hakam Ovadia Yosef, that we should say Hallel, and I believe he said also that we should say Hallel Gamur, however without Berakah. And the reason that he said we should do it without Berakah is that when we say Hallel Gamur in Berakah, like we do in Hanukkah, for example, there should be Nes that is that happened to that the entire Jewish nation was saved, which is not quite correct in this particular example. That there should be Nes Me'al al-Taiba. So in Hanukkah we celebrated because of the Pach HaShemen, that the oil that was supposed to burn only for 1 day burned for 8 days. And also Yani Teshu'ah complete. Now, although we have a state, it is being threatened every day. One day Hezbollah, one day the Egyptian army, one day now we have Iran and we have Hamas. Endless. There is This is what we just said in the Haggadah. However, it is an event that seminal in the Jewish history, and Chacham Obadia did say that there is no question. Not everything is black. We have now. It is Torah Center. It is a place where people are learning how to be somebody. And we wish all of you Chag Sameach. Now on the 28th of Iyar we are going to celebrate Yom Yerushalayim. I remember that day. I was in Halab, and it is the 5th day of the 6 days war. That's when the Israeli soldiers did retake the Har Bayit. I remember the Uzi Narkis that I also have met